Hello, I'm Bob Henderson with RAB Lighting. Well, welcome everyone. So glad that you're able to join us today. We have several folks that we'd like to introduce. So Ben, you want to go?
Hello, how you guys doing? My name is Ben Coyle. I'm one of the people in the training department, rubbing elbows with Bob and Colleen virtually just about every workday. Thanks for having me.
On that note, I'm Colleen McLaughlin. I'm the event manager. For those of you who have not been joining, and even those who have been here, you know that we have our November $100 Amazon promo going on. So today is the last webinar of November, so it's your final chance to enter. What you need to do is, following this webinar, you're going to get an email with a recording link and a survey link. You're going to fill out that survey and use code word STATION, S-T-A-T-I-O-N. Type that in as your code word. If it's not there, your entry does not count. So make sure you type that in. We will be doing a drawing on Wednesday. So all surveys are going to have to be submitted today and tomorrow. I will announce the winner directly on Wednesday to that individual. And then I will let everybody know when we come back after the holidays for our next webinar on December 7th. So stay tuned for that. I will also be handling Q&A. So make sure you type in any questions you have during the presentation to the question box, and we will get back to you at the end.
Thanks, Colleen. I'm Terry Crawley. I'm the Regional Vice President of Sales, the South. I live in the Dallas, Texas area, and I've been with RAB about a dozen years. So looking forward to helping out however I can here today.
Excellent.
Thank you, Terry. We're so glad to have Terry on board with us today. We've been talking about the Regional Vice President at the end of our presentation. So we have one today that's helping us with our presentation. All right, so our focus today is entitled Lighting from Station to Store. So we're going to be talking about gas stations and convenience store lighting. And we have some new information. There's been a lot of changes here. So as we move forward, and let me click on the screen, our first takeaway today that we hope you will remember is LED lighting from gas stations and convenience stores offers significant energy savings and brand awareness. And we're going to be talking more about brand awareness especially. Number two is gas stations and convenience stores are expanding and remaking themselves to provide new and different services. I'm sure many of you have already discovered this. We're going to tell you a lot more information about that today. And then number three is RAB offers products for the independent owner, the franchisee, and corporate partner. So let's get started with this. So first of all, the lighting market is huge, much bigger than I ever thought it was. 152,720 convenience stores. And look at these sales, 650 billion and 65 million transactions per day. That's a lot of transactions and a lot of people. So over 1,000 transactions per store per day. A lot of people coming in, going, creating impressions, so forth. So this is a big market and it's changing and growing. We'll tell you about that today. So with this, let's go to our next slide. So gas station and convenience stores, one of the things that we need to really want to focus on is customer safety. Any of the owners of the convenience stores or managers will tell you that they always want to be safe with all the people coming and going, both from a navigation standpoint, one of the things going on, and also some specialized tasks that are going on. We're going to define those. Also, a manager or owner is interested in brand awareness and attraction. So being able to say, a customer says, I want to go to XYZ store, that's what I'm familiar with, and looking for that brand awareness is important. Now, something new is there's a word that some of you are familiar with, but some may not be, called the forecourt. So the forecourt is generally thought of as actually an older term, but it's outside, out front of the main store. So that we think about that as maybe the canopy area and so forth. But get this, today only 19% of shoppers cite fuel as their main reason for visiting. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, that is a wow factor. a big change. So we're going to talk about, okay, well, if they're only 19% are really buying fuel, what are the other people doing? What are they going in for? All right, so with that, let's look at some of these trends in the gas station retail. So first of all, convenience. You know, it's on the way to soccer practice. It's on the way to home. It's on the way to work. It's on the way to something. It's this convenience aspect is really, really more and more important as we move from year to year with our lives and changes. Also, it's quicker. Being able to go in and find an easy park, pop in the store, grab what we want very quickly because they're smaller than other stores that we purchase from. Then being able to get out and check out quickly, that is another factor. Even if you maybe pay a little higher price, it's important. So also, we're doing more grab and go eating. I'm sure all of us, and so we do this. And the changes in the menu have done nothing but accelerate. So just instead of just finger foods, now we're moving into sandwiches. We're moving into full meals and hot dogs, hamburgers, and so forth. Then the trend is going to be, if you haven't seen it yet in your area, electric charging stations, because we're going to be moving more and more to electric vehicles in many areas. And then the idea of, hey, I don't even have to get out of my car. I can just pay my bill from my car. And so that's another thing that's going to be attractive. In case there's a long line or whatever, we can do that. And then the idea of digital recorder by individual store will improve the supply replenishment. When you go in a store, no one wants to say, hey, they're out of this. So the idea of each individual store, let's say in a franchise or corporate store, being able to give that power to them to automatically order and keep those products on the shelf at all times, then it's reliable for us as consumers. So all that's good. Now, a store owner will tell you that they're looking for a return on investment of about 2 years. So let's read this quote. The return on investment, ROI, is about 2 years. So if it pays for itself and the cost over time has come down, this makes it really attractive time to be making those upgrades and really capturing those energy savings into the future. This person that wrote this quote gets the idea that, okay, I'm going to pay for this in 2 years. And after that, that money is coming to me. It's going into my bank account. So that's what the focus is this two-year payback. Now, today, we're going to focus on 3 types of C-stores. There's actually, you may say, I'm going to go to a C-store. They're all pretty much the same. Well, not really. And if you start looking for these things, I think you'll start seeing them if you haven't already. There's the independent. So the customer-owned, customer-operated independent store, okay? Then there's the franchise. So the franchisee, you know what, as the independent owner, they buy the franchise, they run it and so forth, but it's still part of an overall group. And then the last type would be the corporate. It's where it's corporate owned, corporate run, and there's certain characteristics that are very important to that, which we're going to discuss. So knowing these 3 categories is going to help us learn more about what we need today. So now I'd like to turn it over to Ben, and Ben is going to talk a little bit about the independent stores. Ben?
All right. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate the lead up into the independently owned and operated. I live in a town right here where the 2 gas stations and the 3 convenience stores are actually independently owned and operated. Over here, just within walking distance, happens to be 2 pumps with no canopy and a convenience store. Down the street to my right, I have my son goes to school with their son. It's just a convenience store. And on the other side of town, there happens to be a gas station that has a little bay for inspection stations with a convenience store that's not owned by the same people. The convenience store is kind of the way that the property works behind independently owned, operated also. So when we talk about this mom and pop shop, if you allow me to use that term, they're looking at mainly retrofits or retrofit only. So they're taking their existing lighting and changing it over to LEDs. Often they're doing that switch themselves. At least the one down here, the convenience store where my son and the son of the owners, they put up a product similar to what I'm going to be talking about here shortly. Those independent owners often do their own maintenance, and they'll tend to go towards the lamps or more economical fixtures. So from a lamp standpoint, they might use our high bay replacement lamps. The first high bay replacement lamp that you see there is actually for post top. You may or may not see many of those, probably not a whole lot of those in a convenience store, but that second one in is actually one for wall pack. The third one in is for a shoebox application. And then obviously linear lamps, if they have some type of linear fixtures inside the store, they can definitely replace those fluorescent lamps with many solutions that we have from an LED standpoint that are either ballast compatible, meaning you put it right in the existing application, or you bypass the ballast and you put line voltage to the lamps. Another good solution for the independently owned operator type convenience store / gas station happens to be our W17. If you've never heard that term before, I did not say it incorrectly. I didn't say W34 because W34 is a different product than this one. This is a brand new family for us, and we're going to get to it shortly and help you understand why you care about the W17. From an area light standpoint, our Lot Blaster, which is our economy family. And then from an indoor standpoint, you might have the Gus Jr. The Gus Jr. is specifically designed to be that prismatic wraparound fixture. The Gus actually has 2 strips of light that go down it and make it look very similar to that fluorescent solution. The seal is our economy washdown. You may use that underneath a canopy, or not the canopy. You might use it on an awning. I've seen that in many convenience stores. You come right out the doors to keep the rain off of the customers. You have a little awning there. I've seen seals, that type of fixture on many awnings. I've seen many stores lit with a strip light, the third one in there, or maybe the T34, depending upon what the customer wants. Now, those aren't the only solutions that an independent owner would use. This is very common. So we see this Bullhorn with these 2 old metal halide lamps. We see that it's mounted to a cinder block wall or a cement wall. This is very common also. And we do have solutions. We have Bullhorns accessories that can be used to flood an area, depending upon the lighting zone that you're in. Are you talking about a urban environment? Are you talking about a rural environment? Are you talking about a lot of foot traffic? With 1,080 transactions per day, that's somewhere around 800, maybe even 900 people per day going into the average convenience store. That foot traffic will determine whether you want to use maybe floodlights in a specific application. We do have some economy. The X34 and the PIP all fall into our economy family of floodlights. It's the higher wattage ones that have the slip fitter that will fit onto those Bullhorns. We do also have a couple of higher wattage ones. So we're not talking about the Flying J yet, where you have hundreds, 100 or 150 trucks hanging out. This is the mom and pop shop that we're talking about here. But we do, if you need, in those other applications, we have Bullhorns, we have FF LEDs going up to the 230 watt, and we have some FXs that are in the 300 watt and even 500 watt range. That if you're trying to light and secure a big, huge area, whether it's for crime or the fact that it's large or the fact that it's more urban, we do have multiple solutions to light that area with floodlights if it's needed. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a little poll. I am going to launch the poll. And this is when I was talking to Terry the other day, he was getting confused because I was talking about polls and not a P-O-L-E, we're talking about a P-O-L-L. So I'm going to launch the P-O-L-L for you guys. And it should pop up right there. So what building mounted LED product would you use for an independently owned convenience store. So you guys can ask or respond, make your selections now if you want to. The first one is an HID lamp. Maybe it's the W17. You're like, W17? I don't know what that is. Well, you'll find out about it very, very soon. Then the W34 is the next one that we have there. We've had that one around for a while. The Brisk, even longer, and then the Slim, which actually even predates me here at RAB. I've been here about 5 years, and the Slim was here long before I came around. So I'm seeing some of the answers come through here. The HID, I'm seeing some people selecting the W17, W34. I'm going to close the poll, and I'm going to share the results. And we can see here that in a independently owned, I agree with you. The LED lamps is a great solution, the W17. That one is a great solution also with the W34. And most likely with that independent, you're not going to be using the Brisk or maybe the Slim. It depends upon whether the code requires international dark sky friendly or no light above 90 degrees will determine whether the Slim actually gets used. So I'm going to hide the poll and reveal for the independent, it's the lamp, it's the W17. So what in the heck is the W17? So here we have a picture of the W17. It's our ultra economy family of products, 50,000 hours, universal voltage, 80 CRI. It's wet rated. It's a new design. It's a new look. It's got a new profile. What's great about this product, all three sizes, so you have the small, medium, and large, have the same exact height and also the same exact depth off of the wall. Less than 3 inches off the wall, 8 1/4 inches tall. What's different between the three sizes is the width of the three. 6 light outputs. We have 3,000 lumens, 3,600 lumens, 55, 7,500 lumens, the 9,000 right there, and then a 15,000 lumen version of this guy. The way that this guy mounts is over on the right side, there's a little set screw. You unscrew the set screw, you hinge that door forward, which opens up the inside of the fixture. You make your electrical wiring, you mount the fixture, then you make your electrical wiring to the product. You rotate the hinge back up into place, you put the set screw back in, and you are good to go. 2 CCTs, 3000K, 5000K, what you would expect from a ultra economy family of products, fits right in with how we do things here at RAB. The other product that I see quite often inside of your independently owned independently owned convenience store. This is similar to what my store down the street has. We have 4 different versions of this guy with 4 different light outputs. The way that this guy works is inside there's a 5-watt module, so that a single lamp 2-foot version has 2 of those modules, or 10 watts. The one right next to it happens to be a 2-foot double lamp, and there happens to be 4. So 4 times 5 is 20 watts. The linear version that we have there is 4, but in a line instead of next to each other. And that last one is 8. And we can see the light outputs of the single lamp, 1350, all the way up to 5,575 lumens for that 2 lamp 4-foot version. So what can you do with this guy? You can junction box mount it, you can surface mount it, you can suspend it. It's got a little quick connect adapter. The smallest one you can put up to 30 per run, and the 2 lamp 4-footer, you can put 15 of those in a run. Now, to get everything nice and straight, the electrical connection might not be the best way to get everything connected together. We do have an accessory joiner bracket, which is a mechanical piece that goes on the back to give it that rigidity so that you can get a nice straight, if you're doing the, joining 10, 15, or even, well, yeah, 15 for that one is the max, or the smaller one, 30 for the longest run. There are controls available for this. You can have a microwave sensor in the 4-foot double, or emergency battery backup in the 4-foot double available. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to have Terry turn on his microphone and his video. And as he does that, I just want to point out to you here this Speedmart. I'm going to draw on the slide here with this Speedmart as Terry is finding himself. If you look here, we have an area light right here. These little red ones are area lights positioned in these different spots. We have the Macy's that are sitting underneath the canopy right here. And then if you look up here, we actually have 6 Slims off the front of the building, 1 on either side, and then 2 Slims off the back. And I'm going to stop talking so Terry can say some more. Terry, you need a, there we go.
Oh, you got it? Okay. Thanks, Ben. This particular Speedmart is one of 7. They're based out of Crossville, Tennessee. This particular property, when the owners took it over, had a gravel parking lot. So that's how independent they were. They're very just a small start with 7 stores. They're family owned. They got plenty of tax benefits and grants to start this business. But that was based around them utilizing any energy efficient products, whether it was solar, certainly lighting, but they used this to really enhance their forecourt aspects where they wanted to get the signage very visible. They wanted the pumps under secure lighting, very high light levels, as you can see called out there by the point by point. So the idea with this is that they had 7 stores. They had plenty of tax and grant benefits to start this. So their ROI, to Bob's point, they had a return on investment on this in about 2.5 years, where this store that sells all the 4 basic food groups, they sell beer, tobacco, scratch offs, and sugar. So they're looking to be profitable in about 2.5 years. I'm sure they are, but since we've done this. So Speedmart was our first kind of a dipping a toe in the water on the C-store gas station opportunity.
All right, so now Bob is going to hop on. He's going to talk more about the franchise aspect.
All right, so thank you very much. That's great. Let's go to our next category, as Ben said, and talk about the franchise. So what is important, or what's different about a franchise versus an independent? So first of all, when you go to franchise, you start working and you do design build. It's very common over in the franchise. And so the next category is work with contractors directly. Very normal, very routine. You just hire the contractor of your choice and so forth. The contractor may ask for mock-ups or maybe samples or whatever to make sure that they get what they want as far as their way of designing and finalizing what they want to do. Also, layouts could be involved, and these are often provided by the manufacturer of the light fixtures to aid in that, to make sure they get exactly how much light they want and the distribution and all of this. Also is lighting controls. So these being maybe a little bit more advanced, a little bit more knowledgeable about the fact, hey, not only does LED save energy, but we know if we can do controls at the same time, we're going to get a double hit. So lighting controls begins to be part of this. And then the economy and the standard level of fixtures are typically used here. Not as much ultra economy, more economy to standard fixtures. And rebranding. So a franchise is interested in their brand, and not only their brand, but they're wanting rebranding and re-updating and updating to make sure that they're in sync with the latest trends. And so everyone would want to sink into that. And as Terry mentioned earlier, that signage. So the signage is important. So you can identify if XYZ is where my store is. Oh, look, let's stop there. We're familiar with that store. So that's some of the characteristics of a franchise. So in the economy and standard category, we have a couple of wall packs from RAB we'd like to talk about, and that's the W34. We launched that earlier, maybe within the last year, and it's really taken off. It's really been a big seller for us. We appreciate all the support for that. And that's in our economy version, but also we have customers that want that 10-year warranty. So the W123 LED is also popular in this franchisee. Now, moving over to our area lights, we could do one of two. We could do the lot blaster, as Ben mentioned, but also a lot of ALEDs have gone in the franchise. Moving over to our indoor lighting. So we have the Gus Jr., as Ben described, the Seal, which is the lower level of the linear washdown, which is possibility, depending on what the areas are. The T34 LED troffer, as well as the Swish. Now the Swish introduces something a little bit new. So it introduces this volumetric light distribution at an economy price. So you get the wide distribution. Everything is very visible. We know that when a customer enters a convenience store, they wanting things to look good, no dark areas, want to be able to pick out what they need, colors will pop and so forth. And then over in the canopy, in this 4 area that we talked about. So the band LED is a possibility, as well as our Macy. So either one of those could do a good job for this franchisee. So now it's time to do another poll. I'm going to read this, and then we're going to turn it over to Ben to conduct the poll. So what has been the biggest lighting challenge in this industry, meaning gas core and convenience canopy, within the last 20 years? So here they are. The choices are lighting maintenance, energy efficiency, handle power distribution, and glare and light level. So we're focusing in on lighting only. And so as we go, I'm sure, Ben, you'll see the entries come in. And these are 4, all of them are interesting possible answers, but there is one that will tend to stand out. So let's first look at the results once we get enough of our votes in.
So there's actually one solution, Bob, that nobody has selected. Oh, somebody just selected it.
Ah, okay.
I thought we were just going to have people choosing from the 3. I'm seeing the bars go up and down. It feels like a ticker tape at maybe Wall Street Journal or not Wall Street Journal. Where did that come from? Wall Street.
Okay.
All right, so we're at a minute. So I'm going to close the polls. Thank you for voting. And I'm going to share the results.
Let's reveal this. So 36% is lighting maintenance. Energy efficiency, 35%. Candle power distribution. And the last one is glare and light level. Okay, so we have interesting voting here. Let's reveal this answer. And so actually in the lighting industry, the answer is glare and light level. Remember I said within the last 20 years. So you may remember a few years back, everything was way overlighted and there was a tremendous amount of glare. And so the idea would be we have, as an industry, have been self-policing in this area, doing a much better job. So that's, from a lighting point, is the answer for that one. But we got some interesting results. So let's focus on our featured product, which is the T34. This is a great product. It's kind of maybe a little bit of a sleeper. Some of you might not be familiar with this product. So it's backlit, fully luminous surface. So when you look at it, it's very, very smooth. It's in the economy range, by the way. So also it's got, we have 2x2 in 3 different sizes of outputs and 3 CCTs. And we also have 2x4s. You see the lumen outputs there. So the CCTs are 3,500, 4,000, and 5,000, depending on your personality and what kind of store the owner, the franchisee wants to be. All right, so also factory installed Lightcloud is a possibility. Remember, I'm gonna buy the hamburger, so I want the French fries, maximize that. Remember that users are a little more sophisticated, so they're gonna go that extra mile to do everything as it is. And you'll see all the characteristics. Also, all of this is built into an economy level fixture. So DLC, so that puts you in line for a rebate. It's damp rated, of course, IC. So if you have a drop ceiling, you can put insulation over the top. It's Chicago Plenum rated. Also, it's a 0 to 10 standard right out of the box, universal voltage, 50,000 hours with our limited 5-year warranty. All right, so all of that packed into this with an economy picture, which the franchisee really likes. All right, so now we also, while we're in the convenience store inside, we want to talk about these coolers. I don't think I've ever seen a convenience store that didn't have a cooler. And so the idea would be they stay on all the time. So going in and be able to grab what you need, be able to see that, but also what? Save energy and maximize lifetime. And we have sign lighting that fits right into this category. So you see it's damp rated, it's an enclosed area, double-ended, ballast bypass. So that's the B-type fixture. So no problem with wiring, just wear that right up with line voltage. And it's 50,000 hours. And this has our full 5-year no compromise warranty. All right, so we are in that business as well. Now, I'm going to turn this over and invite Terry to come back in because he has a good story to tell about this franchisee with the Marathon gas station. And so it's interesting as we see these, we do a lot of planning and layouts for these. So we can see that we can get the light levels, get the max to mins, whatever it is. We can do a rendering as you see here. So while Terry is on the way joining us, this is what we can do. And we offer this service to everyone at no charge. This is part of what RAB makes it easy to do business with. So Terry, love to turn it over to you now to tell us a little bit about Marathon.
Need to unmute yourself, Terry.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Oh.
You're good to go now.
All right, thank you. Yeah, well, with Marathon, they were in the process of really gussying up their properties because they were about to be acquired. So as it turns out, when we worked with this Marathon franchisee, they were kind of a middleweight in the convenience store and gas station industry. But back in August, they were acquired by 7-Eleven. So 7-Eleven went over to the ATM and took out $21 billion of cash on an all-cash deal and bought Marathon gas station. I bring that up for a couple of reasons. One is the fact that there's going to be a very large rebranding as it relates to lighting with Marathon because they're switching over to 7-Eleven. So it's a big opportunity there for us. But the idea for Marathon is with all of these guys Bob mentioned earlier is the visibility from the highway, the visibility from the road to see that property and draw you in before anyone else. So we worked with Marathon. They had 3,900 convenience stores across the United States. We had a very small portion of that we worked with them on, and then they became they were acquired by 7-Eleven. And 7-Eleven now has 17,900 stations and convenience stores in their portfolio. So we got the opportunity to work with Marathon before they became 7-Eleven and became a heavyweight. But it was a great opportunity for us, and I think we ended up doing about a dozen or so Marathon gas stations before that acquisition.
Awesome. So that's a good example of what we talked about earlier of this rebranding, things change and so forth, move forward. And so the idea would be to go with the flow and stay in touch. All right. So Ben, I'm going to turn it over to you now to take us.
Yeah, just one last thing on this Marathon gas station. If you notice, the site, 20-foot candles, the parking lot, 25-foot candles. They really wanted to light the whole entire place really super high, which is different than the previous station, which was the canopy was lit super high and the site, the parking lot area was lit less to a lower light level. Okay, so when we talk about from a corporate standpoint, here we have lighting layouts and the renderings aren't done by the manufacturer. They're actually being done by the corporation. You have in-house engineering, maybe a specifier, maybe even a lighting designer on staff doing the lighting for the space. They're concerned about specifications and codes. They're trying to do their best to meet all the requirements that they have. From a corporate standpoint, the job usually goes out for bid. They're concerned about corporate brand and imaging, and they want to make sure that they have continuity between stores. I can tell you right here where I live, I'm going to talk about a couple more stores. There's a Cumberland Farms over here in Wakefield that looks identical to the Cumberland Farms in Reading, which is over there. And in Middleton, they used to have an old Cumberland Farms there. They didn't like it. They leveled it to the ground. They went all the way down to the dirt, and they built that complete store up again in a matter of a couple of months to give it that continuity. So if you go to Middleton, if you go to Wakefield, or if you go to North Reading, it's like you're going into the same exact Cumbies every single time. With the Cumbies type of a store, that's a regional corporation around here. Just like Dunkin' Donuts, you call Dunkin' Donuts Dunkies around here. Cumberland Farms is your Cumbies. You're gonna have a standard or premium type fixture and some type of a lighting control. So something like the Slim, either the smaller Slims or the bigger Slims, the WPs, which are smaller or bigger. Bob already talked about the 10-year full warranty on the WP 1, 2s, and 3s. Area lights would be either the I've lot or the A LED. You might even get into something like the decorative goose type fixture. Indoors would be the BOA, the Shark, which is the more premium or the standard product, the Easy Pan, the Swish. These are our standard run-of-the-mill, just rock solid type products with those same two van LED for the canopy maybe, or the Macy. The lighting control system, our Lightcloud network lighting control system, is very attractive to big corporations. You can have the lighting scheme exactly the same way, and you could have the corporation monitor every single site. So you give one person a user access to be able to control the lighting at their store, and somebody from a corporate can have access to every single store in every single location and look at the conglomerate of what's happening on the whole entire system everywhere, not just one store. That's one of the great things about Lightcloud. Lightcloud also works just as well from an indoor standpoint as it does from an outdoor standpoint. Some of our competitors, their indoor system is slightly different than their outdoor. For us, there's no difference between indoor and outdoor. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna take another poll. I'm gonna click it over here. And as a corporate owner, what type of RAB LED area light would you use for your convenience store? The different solutions that I have there. Oh, I actually need to launch the poll. Would you put these LED lamps on a pole? I mean, have a pole. The Lot Blaster, the I've lot, or the area light. So you guys can now make your choice between lamps, the economy Lot Blaster, the standard I've lot, or the premium ALED. I'm giving you guys a little bit of a time. It's been a couple seconds as we go through. La-di-da-di, I'm not sure if I can tell another joke or not. I'm not a very good joke teller. So I am going to end the poll, and I'm going to share the results with you, my friends. And we can see here that nobody chose the HID solution, so no shoe boxes in those existing ALEDs. The Lot Blaster got a pretty good response there, I've lot, and then the ALED. What I really like is the ALED version. The ALED has a lot of options. It's a very powerful product line, which goes with this premium products that we have here at RAB. The more premium you go, the more options you're given. 2 voltages, 120, 277, and then the 480 volt version. 3 mountings, you have a pole, you have a slip fitter, and your wall pack. Terry's going to be talking about this next job, and this next job actually has the area lights around the perimeter and on the front of the building. They're actually using the wall pack version of this fixture on the front of the building. And you get a nice good consistency and look between the area lights around the perimeter and the wall packs that are on the front of the building. A bunch of different distributions, 2, 3, and 4 distribution, and then the type 5S, which is that kind of square one that you see in the top right of the picture. 4 colors: bronze, white, gray, and black, with a bunch of different wattages. The 260 and the 360 are actually only available in bronze and white only. The next product that I have for you actually happens to be the Macy. That's the canopy fixture. One of the few times that here at RAB we can talk really about the Macy, because it's your gas station canopy type fixture. It's for single deck construction. You need to have access above, because this guy sandwiches in between with less than a 2-inch of protruding from the into the canopy or below the surface of the canopy. 2 sizes: we have a 16-inch version, we have a larger 20-inch version, 5 different light outputs from 52 watts all the way up to a screaming 200 watts. And that's how you can get these really super high light levels at, you know, your 14, your 16, or maybe even your 18. 16 seems to be the pretty standard for your canopy height. 200 watt or 160 watt version of those guys, and you're talking that 30 to 40 and maybe even upwards to 50 foot candles on the pumps and the cars down below. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop talking for a little bit and let Terry talk for a bit. After Terry unmutes. You're still muted, Terry.
You there? You go. Sorry. All right, as fate would have it, we have a promo for the Macy fixtures, and these are clearance products, so it's while supplies last. But these are some hard-hitting numbers on Macy products that you might have some opportunities for. So we want to promote that and let you know that those that are there by quantity. We are going to work with distribution to take care of them on this side of this. But the promo code is CStore 2020. So if you want to take note of that, those quantities by that catalog number and the webinar price, those are available for a limited time only using our CStore 2020 promo. And those are our prices, which are very, very aggressive. So we're looking to quite candidly get rid of those. So if you've got some opportunities, give us a shout and we'll take care of you. You're muted.
So this is the store that I was talking about. You have those A LEDs, which are actually WP type 4s that are 50 watt 4s that are sitting off the front. You have the slims across the back of the building. You have the turquoise, which are your Macy canopy fixtures, and then your red ones that are going around the perimeter are those A LEDs. Take it away, Terry.
Yes, in Boston, I guess you call those places cirkies, but no such thing.
No such thing, no.
Circle K is a ginormous company that's owned by a very large conglomerate out of Canada. Circle K alone has 9,800 locations throughout North America. And when we worked with Circle K, we did it on a very regional level and worked hand in hand with the contractor and visited the regional headquarters of Circle K in that state. We worked with them throughout Georgia and Alabama primarily. We also worked on some of the 29 BP gas stations that they converted over to Circle K. So the main opportunity here for us, other than the obvious site lighting and the opportunity to redo the lighting, was that the rebranding of this from whatever it was to Circle K. So we were participated in everything from the Macy fixtures to the wall packs. The rebranding was the big issue here. So Circle K and their parent company are really on a tear acquiring these companies. Right now, there's over 400 corner store brands that have been acquired by Circle K that they're going to convert all 400 of those over to Circle K properties, including all the branding and everything that goes with it. So the lighting opportunity is a phenomenal opportunity for us here. This is all, again, we worked with contractors, they bought from distributors. So this, as corporate as it gets for us here, this wasn't dictated on a national level. So we worked with local distributors to get all these opportunities taken care of.
Excellent. All right, so this one right here underneath the canopy, 21 foot candles, and across the entire site, about 7 foot candles. All right, so the top takeaways that we have going on for you are the same ones that we started with, thank goodness, right? So LED lighting for gas stations and convenience stores offers significant energy savings and brand awareness, or that brand draw of having a nice bright light level so people come to the Cumbies, right? Takeaway number 2, gas stations and convenience stores are expanding and remaking themselves to provide more services with somewhere between 800, maybe even 1,200 or 1,100 people, depending upon the foot traffic, going to a convenience store makes them a hot spot for buying groceries there these days. The last one is number 3, which is RAB offers products for the independent owner, the franchisees, and the corporate partner. So what beyond gas station canopy and convenience store lighting do we have? Like in our other webinars that we've done, we have videos on YouTube, we have LinkedIn, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter. We have drive.rabweb.com where you can download all of our marketing literature in PDF form. It's available either on your iOS or your Android device. We have Terry Crawley in the bottom left there, covering the bottom part of the United States, Adam, Frank, Matt, and Scott, along with all of their district managers, multiple district managers under each one of these that will be able to analyze the associated reps that these ladies and gentlemen work with are there at your disposal
We are
to
disposable.
answer all of your questions. And if you don't remember what that promo code is, these guys will help you with the promo code or your reps. So thank you. We appreciate you coming. And I think all my friends are going to pop back on with their video.